Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. You're here. We're back again and again with another episode of the podcast.
Week after week after week.
After week.
We provide fresh new content
For you. Yeah, so you're here with your girl, Renee.
Oh my God, what the fuck? This happened last time, yeah. And
Actually, where is
my phone? Can I just say, this happened in the last episode. And my phone is literally always on silent. So I don't understand how it's caught me twice.
Second week running. Anyway.
I apologise. It won't happen again.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. What's going on, Prin? I haven't seen you in like
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Oh, I know. It has. My heart breaks.
Yeah, you've probably noticed that we're not in the same scene, which we did tell you about.
We did.
We did say it was going to change again. But
And this
will
is our
be
final.
Yeah, the final setup for now, for the foreseeable.
Yes.
For the foreseeable, we're here. How you been, man? How's your 2 weeks? You've been getting up to some stuff.
I have. Since I last saw you, I have ran a half marathon.
I said a half marathon, you know. How long is a half marathon?
Too long. It's just too long. It's like 13 miles.
13 miles. You know, the few days before your half marathon, I was in the gym with my cousin.
Yeah.
We did a workout with his dad, and the warm-up was quick boxing sesh.
That is not a warm-up.
Facts.
But okay.
And then a quick weight session.
Again, not a warm-up. Is this part of the warm-up still?
That was the main workout.
Oh, okay.
But the warm-up was boxing. Man had boxing gloves on me, and I was throwing hands.
Oh my God.
And then as the cool down, this man had me run 2 miles.
You don't run.
Is that not what I said to the guy? I don't run
God.
nowhere. 2 miles, 20 minutes.
What did you think?
I was thinking.
Think you do another 11 after that?
I was thinking how all the ways I could die. Basically.
No.
My heart rate was 174.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he said, Renee, can you slow that down? I was like, can I stop running? That might help.
It's hard work. I hate treadmill running.
Yeah,
I think it's so much worse than road running.
Just looking at a wall. But yeah, you did 13 miles, so
it was tough. I went through every emotion physically possible on this run. So basically, I was supposed to run it with my uncle, but he wasn't very well in the night. So he still came to support and stuff, but he couldn't do the run. So I kind of had it in my head, I was running it with someone.
Yeah.
So like James's brother was doing it as well, but he's training for an actual marathon, so he was going to run it at his pace.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, it's fine, I'll have my uncle. And then on the morning of when I realised I was doing it on my own, I was like, shit, I don't know how this is going to go. And I was getting so in my head. But like when you were all like gathered up together and basically you stand with, so they're like, there's like massive poles with numbers on it, how like much time you think you can do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a staggered release. And then I was stood with like the people, I kind of went for, because I didn't get to do much training, because basically I trained really hard for the last one I was meant to do in May.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't very well, so I couldn't do it. And then I was like, all right, I'll sign up for one in August. Signed up for one straight away, and then just couldn't be asked to train. So like I'd done like 2 long runs, that was it. And I was like stood with all these people, I was like, right, I'll aim for like 2.5 hours. And sorry, you just hear the cat. That really tickled me.
Yeah.
So I stood with all these people, and people just started speaking to me. People were like, oh, so is this your first half? And I was like, okay, this is nice, because I was so in my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it is. And then like they were like, oh yeah, I did it last year, or like, yeah, me too, this is my first. So I was speaking to them, and then like start running, and you're like, right, okay, I've got this. I had my headphones in, and I was like buzzing. But then after so I measure in kilometers, not miles. After like the first like 5k, I had to take my headphones out because I was getting like a sensory overload, because there was so much noise. Like you've got everyone around you. There's people out in the streets like clapping, because they closed off all the roads in Solihull that were on that route.
That's good.
So like people were like stood outside their houses like smashing like pots and pans and clapping, and then there's this running group in Birmingham called Rock Up. And like all of them were there, and they had this one guy running with a speaker on his back, like this massive speaker backpack. It was sick.
No way.
But they were blasting tunes out of that, so I was like, I need to take my headphones out, because this is too much noise like to combat.
Yeah.
So I ended up running the rest of it pretty much with no music, which is something I've never done, like a long run with no music. But it was actually quite nice just to like listen to my breathing and like my feet hitting the floor to kind of get my pace. And And I couldn't get my pace very well because when you're running with loads of people around you, you naturally just run a bit faster.
Yeah.
So I think I was running a bit too quickly at the beginning. And my knee, I had a pre-existing injury. So my knee has been playing up. So I had a knee support on. And my knee started hurting almost straight away. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think I could do it. But like every night, so like 5K, I was like, right, I've run 5K. I can do this. And then it got to like 10K and I was like, okay, I'm getting a bit tired now, but I've got this. And then like there's like kids and stuff stood out with like water guns spraying people. It was such nice vibes. So there's a lot of hills though, and it was like 25 degrees that day.
You can imagine.
And I was sweltering. Like I could just feel my face was on fire. I was so hot. And I was just like drinking loads of water. And then every time I saw a hill, I was like, oh God, not again. Just stop it. And then when I got to 16 kilometres, that's the furthest I've ever ran. Okay. So a half marathon is like just over 21 kilometres.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I've ran 16. I've done this before, so I knew I could get to 16. And then I got to 16, I was like, right, I've only got 5K left. Like, it's only 5K. But because I'd never ran further than that, I'd never experienced like, the emotions that come past 16K.
Yeah.
When I got to 18 kilometres, I thought I was going to cry. I was like, not even like cry because I'm so... like I'm in so much pain, which I was, but like I just felt so emotional, and I was like a bit breathless, and I was getting a bit like do you know when you can't catch your breath? Do you know when you're really, really upset and you can't even breathe properly? I was like, brilliant, I'm gonna have a panic attack on this run. I was like, I can't. But then at that point, that's when people are so much more supportive around because they know you've only got a bit left. So they're like, come on, you've got this. You've only got 3 kilometres left, and everyone's cheering. And I just kept on thinking. For me, it's a pride thing. Like, if no one was there that day, genuinely, when I got to 18 kilometres, my knee was on fire. I could quite easily have been like, I'm just gonna call it a day.
Yeah.
But because I knew that I had like my family and friends supporting me at the end, I was like, I've got to finish this. Can you imagine if I'm just like, they're all waiting for me and then I just walk on up 5 hours later like, oh yeah, I just sacked it off and walked the rest of the way. So I was like, I've got to keep running. And then as I got to the finish line, they were all there cheering for me, and I could just feel, I was going like, I couldn't breathe. As soon as I crossed the finish line, because you've got like a number that's associated with your name, so the guy on the mic was like, and like, just crossed the finish line, princess. And I was like, oh. As soon as I crossed the finish line, burst into tears. Like, full blown hysterics. I was like running up to James. I was like crying. Because it was like such a mixture of pure elation and joy and achievement, but also like my body is physically broken.
Yeah.
But the adrenaline, I've never felt so good. Like, I can't explain like all the dopamine, like all the hormones and everything that's rushing through you. The like couple of hours after that, I felt amazing, and then I crashed.
I can imagine being passed out.
All the adrenaline leaves your body.
Yeah.
Like everything, and I felt weak. I was freezing. I was shivering. It was so hot outside. I was shivering.
Do they give you one of those things? 'Cause I've seen like, you see people running and they put the thing. Is it like
foil
like
or
the
something? Foil sheet? Nah, they do that a lot at actual marathons
okay.
because they are like so much more intense. It keeps you warm. It's
Oh.
a foil blanket essentially, so like it traps all the heat in. Okay. Which it's ridiculous because they're like super thin, like paper thin, but because they're made of foil, it keeps all the heat in. So yeah, it was amazing. I think I will sign up for another one because I want to actually properly train for one and see if I can beat my time, because I ended up doing it a lot slower than I originally wanted to, but given my knee injury and my lack of training, I think I did pretty good.
So what, you're going to do some like physio or something?
Yeah, I've messaged all the uni lads that do physio, and I've been like, what should I do? Because I don't want to actually pay to see a physio. I obviously could go for the NHS, but I'll probably wait till I'm 50.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, it was great. It was really, really great day.
Good. I'm glad for
I got a medal.
Did you?
Yeah, which is sick.
Snap. So do you think you're going to like... Obviously, you said you're going to do another half.
Yeah.
Do you think you're eventually going to do a full, or do you going to stick to halves?
I think I'll stick to halves for now because what's the word? The discipline that it takes to train for a full marathon, I just don't think I've got at the minute. And I'm not willing to give up certain aspects of my life. Like, James' brother is training for one and he's had to give up so much of his social life and stuff like that. And he's so disciplined with it, whereas I would be like, oh, I don't fancy going for a run today. Yeah. I'm not going to go. I like it just being like a bit of fun. Yeah. I don't want it to become a chore. So we'll see. You never know. Maybe 2026, not 2025, maybe 2026 you'll see me running a full marathon, but not for now.
Possible. That'd be good though.
That's
That'd be
been
good.
me, the half, and then just living life between that.
Nice. I like to hear it.
What
Love
about
to hear
you?
Well, I'm moved back to Leicester.
We love to see it.
We're in a new spot. Yeah, I've just been doing like getting bits and bobs for the place. You know, trying to get some like cool stuff. Living with my missus and her cat.
Lovely, yes.
Her cat Olive.
And he's meowing like crazy right now
Yeah.
because I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah.
So we've had to keep him in the bedroom.
Yeah, we don't want to kill Princess off
Not
the
today.
podcast to film. So
No, exactly.
yeah, but that's basically what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, just getting prepared to come back here. Go back to work, starting new jobs, things like that. So yeah, it's been pretty chill. I mean, chill in the sense of like not a lot's going on except the fact that I've moved into a new place.
Yeah.
So it's not been much, but it was a bit weird because obviously my missus's dad brought all of her stuff down.
Oh yeah.
So he was moving like her stuff in, and I'm just like here,
Just like, hi.
hi, look down the whole time.
Oh, no.
Which it was a little bit awkward. Like he wasn't like mean or anything. Like
No.
he'd say some stuff, like I don't know, probably like 4 sentences for the 2 hours that he was here, and yeah, that was it really. Which kind of brings us on to today's topic of conversation. What are we talking about, Bryn?
We are talking about the in-laws.
The in-laws,
The highs, the lows.
the navigation of it all. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. What's it like? Well, I mean, you live with one of your in-laws.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's great. I've looked out massively with my partner's family. They are absolutely incredible, and they love me. I mean, who wouldn't?
What type of like in-laws would you say they are? Would you say they're like overprotective? Would you say they're more supportive? Would you say they're more like
Nah, supportive and quite chill, like very laid back, like just as long as like their kids are happy, they're happy kind of vibe. Like no huge expectations of anything. Like I could have been like anything and they would be lovely to me. Yeah. As long as I wasn't like a prick. Do you know what I mean?
Was it like that from like the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much actually. Like I remember the first time I ever actually went round, they were in the middle of changing the bathroom. So like James's dad was ripping up the bathroom floor. First time I ever met him, he's like hunched over, ripping up the bathroom floor, like full on builder's bum.
Oh my God.
And I was like, hi. And he was like dripping in sweat in the bathroom. He's like, oh, you're right, like proper sound. And his mom had been at a gym class, and when she got back, me and James were sat in the front room watching a film, and she came in and she was dripping in sweat because she'd just been to a gym class. Oh, jeez. And she was like, I won't give you a hug, like, because I'm dripping in sweat, but it's so nice to meet you. And it was just, do you know, kind of like just breaks the ice straight away, just super chill. And yeah, they've always just been super, super lovely. Like I've never had, obviously I was nervous. I was so nervous because you want to be liked. Yes. So it was just kind of like, oh my God, I really hope they like me. But I knew that they liked me as soon as they started treating me the way that they treat like James and his siblings. So like I remember going around for dinner and his dad started like ripping into me and I was like, yeah. Fair. You're like, do you know what I mean? That level of comfortability. So
oh man.
Yeah, I have been really, really lucky. And I think obviously with James's dad passing away a couple of years ago, that has brought me even closer to his like mom and his siblings, because when you go through like hard times, I guess, you really see everyone in such a vulnerable state. And I spent so much time with them around him being ill and his passing, and obviously I now live there, so they are my family, and they would say the same. That's like cute. James's mom's always like, you are my daughter. Cute. And my mom says the same about James. She always goes, how's my son? So it's sweet.
Got any tips?
I know, I feel like I'm just here like, so mine is perfect, how's yours?
I mean,
no.
What?
Give a bit of backstory to your situation.
Obviously, so my missus' parents, they're Georgian. Mm-hmm. So for people who don't know where Georgia is, it's a tiny little island in the east of Europe, where there's not much diversification. Like everyone's Georgian, everyone's raised Orthodox Christian. Yeah. Very much like, it's very different. So like, me being black is an issue. Being gay as well. It's like I'm trying to push them over
A
the
double
edge.
whammy.
Yeah, like it's a lot for them because they're not used to that. But at the same time, like I always thought, well, you've been living in the UK for a long time. You've raised your daughter in a very diverse place.
It's very
Luton.
westernized.
Yeah, like there's a lot of different cultures there.
Yeah.
Which would make you think they got a bit more used to it or something, but well, obviously not. So
it is a tough one though when culture's involved, because like when you are raised a certain way, it's like a learnt behaviour, so you can't just unlearn that overnight. Like even after years, it's still, I think it's kind of like completely reframing your opinions on everything. And I can't imagine what that must be like. Like thankfully we don't have to imagine that, because we've kind of been brought up to just be like super accepting of whatever, but like that's not the same for everyone.
But then how do you like combat that in the sense of like, well, I'm with your daughter, I've been with her for 3 years now. Well, like how do they or how do I get over that barrier of actually coming together and having a conversation, which hasn't happened?
No,
essentially, like we've never had like a proper conversation.
It's really hard because I think you've done all the right things so far. So it's like, well, what else can you do? But as far as I'm concerned, you've done as much as you can. The only thing you can do is continue to treat like your girlfriend well, and they will eventually you'd like to think they'd be like, well, if she's happy and she's with someone that's treating her so well, then we can't pick fault with it. Like I know it's been 3 years and that feels like a long time, but as well you guys have been at uni, so they're probably just thinking like, oh, like it's just a uni thing, do you know what I mean? Like they're probably not actually deep in that, like, no, this is serious.
Well, uni done now, so
exactly
it's time to start deep in, do you know what I'm saying?
So it is tough because you don't want to force it. Well, you can't force it. You can't force someone to like you. Can't force someone to change their mind. But it's not you that's the issue. Like they don't like you. They don't not like you. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't
not.
They don't like you. Anyway, carry on.
They don't not like you as a person because they don't know you as a person.
But they also haven't given me a chance.
No.
They haven't given it a chance to get to know me. So like how do we come over it? Like what when it comes to the day where we are getting married or something?
Yeah.
Like what are you just gonna what's gonna happen then? Do you know what I mean? Like what do you do?
I know.
I couldn't even ask her dad for hand in marriage because
I mean, I don't know, that you look like that's so far down the
line.
line.
No, but I'm just saying.
But
like,
I do get it. But like, you never know what things might be like by then. And I think you can't. It's so hard because
it's hard when someone's raised in like a sheltered place and you can't.
Yeah, but it's so common. Like I've got so many friends who are like, especially like my Indian friends. They've got parents that have literally said like, say if they're Sikh, you have to be with a Sikh girl. If they're Hindu, you have to be with a Hindu girl. Like, we will disown you. If you want to be with someone that's so not, crazy. You can, but you won't be seeing us again. So, like, it's much more common than you think. And I think there's this expectation that, like, well, you live in the UK, you should think the way we think and live the way we live. And obviously, I do agree with that because I think love is love. Yeah. Everyone should be allowed to love and be with whoever they want to be with if it makes them happy. I honestly don't understand why people get so het up about it. Like, it's not your business who your child loves as long as they're happy. But I do appreciate that if you've spent your entire life being told this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, it's going to take more than a few years to start thinking this is right.
Yeah. I guess that's right. I know. I just wish it was better because it would be easier on her.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. It's hard for you, but it's also hard for your girlfriend because, like, she obviously doesn't want it to be like that. Yeah. She wants you all to be able to, like, get along and do things together and, like, it not be awkward when you're in the same room and stuff. Yeah. It's hard for both of you.
That was one thing that my mom said when I came out because she wasn't, like, at first, I guess she was taken back and she didn't really know how to process and handle the situation. But what she said is either I get over this or I lose my daughter. Yeah. Which is what I don't want to happen. No. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like communication is key. In terms of like my family, I know they were very welcoming. I mean, sorry.
That's so funny. I can't wait to watch the outtakes of this video. That is a clip. Bloopers.
I was speaking to my missus and I was asking her how it was for her.
That's good to get that kind of.
And she said obviously she was like nervous at first. Coming over, I feel like me bringing her around a lot definitely helped because she got used to my family a lot more. She did say that it was a big culture shock though, because obviously there's so many of us and her immediate family is in Georgia. It's just like her parents and her sister that's here. So when she was coming round, she's just seen bare of us, bare Hutchinsons and that, like both sides of the family as well, like my mom's side and my dad's side. So she said it was very very nerve-wracking, but they all loved her. They all welcomed her with open arms. She can be at home by herself. She can go out with like my mom, my stepdad, whoever.
That's so nice to have that relationship.
So that definitely helped. But I don't know. I just wish that it could be like the same both ways, because then everyone could just be like happy family.
And even if not the same, because like I'm a lot closer like with my partner's family than he is with, like he gets on really well with my mom, but I guess it is just kind of me and my mom. So it's not like there's no siblings and like dad and all of that. To me, it's just me and my mom and like my nan and granddad. He gets on with them really well, but he doesn't really spend as much time with them as I spend with his family, because he's got siblings and they do loads of stuff together and they're all really close. And all of his family live like in West Midlands and like everyone's really close. So it doesn't even have to be a case of like you're just as close with her family as she is with yours. It'd just be nice if you could just get on. Just get on. That I think that, but it's hard. And I feel like when you meet someone, one thing I try to remind myself, like I haven't had to luckily in this relationship, but when I was with my ex, I don't really feel like, I feel like his family were nice enough to me, but like I did not have the kind of relationship with them like I do now with my current partner. But I just think what you have to remind yourself as well is the person that you're with, like you've chose to be with that person, their family, like you don't get to choose your parents, you don't get to choose, do you know what I mean? Like they're allowed to think how they want to think. Unfortunately, people are allowed to think what they want to think in life, but you've chose to be with that person. And then it's just thinking of like your relationship is so much stronger than all that other stuff.
Definitely. Do you think from like previous relationships to now, do you think it was different? Did you like navigate differently?
No, I don't think I did. I'm pretty much just like what you see is what you get, but like I'm such an open person. But I think that we just weren't the same kinds of people, and I think they kind of had an idea of who I was. Like I think they thought I thought I was nice. Do you know what I mean? Like I think they thought I thought fucking hell, it's like a riddle. But I think they thought that I thought I was like too good to be with their son, and like I think they kind of had this idea of me that just wasn't,
sets you up already.
Like I think they kind of had this idea of me that just wasn't. Well, I was with him for 3 years, so quite clearly that wasn't my mentality whatsoever. Whereas like this time round, my partner's family have just been so chill from the get. But the main thing for me is that he gets on so well with my mom, because my mom hated my ex. She hated him. And to be fair, like it was a really bad relationship, so I completely understand why now. But like at the time, it was one of those like, you just don't want me to be happy. But it was so hard for me, so I can understand from, not the same from like your partner's perspective, but I can understand what it's like when your parent doesn't like your partner, because it made things really difficult. Like he wasn't allowed to come around the house, like she didn't want to see him. If we ever argued or anything, I would like not tell her, because I knew that she already didn't like him, and it was just going to taint her image of him even more. So for the whole time I was with him, I felt like it was like she never really knew the full truth of the relationship.
Did that ever put like, not a wedge, but did that ever make yours and your mom's relationship a little bit more distant than it needed?
100% it did, because I just ended up, it kind of pushed me into him more. Like, it just pushed me so much closer to him. I just wanted to do everything with him, because I was like, oh, she just doesn't get it. She just isn't happy for me. Like, why would she not want to be happy for me? Do you know what I mean? Like, she just didn't like him because she could see very early on in the relationship that we were not a good match for each other. But it definitely put a wedge between us. Like, we were still close. Me and my mum have always been close, but I definitely did a lot less with her. And, like...
You didn't tell her as much.
Yeah, and because he wasn't allowed round as, I was always at his.
Yeah.
So, like, at least if he'd have been allowed round as, she would have seen me a lot more, because he would have come round. But I used to go around his like 4 days out of the week guaranteed, like, and stay most of the time. So I was seeing her a lot less. So yeah, it did actually, when I think back. It's really hard, I think, when you are with someone and like you've got that kind of distance with the family, whether it's your side or their side. And that's why I cannot explain how lucky I feel now that like my mum is obsessed with James. And and even like my grandparents always ask about him.
Well, he's a top G.
He is.
We like James.
He's got the gift of the gab. That's what it is.
No, he's very good. He's very nice, and he's very good to you, which is it's nice to see because obviously it's a big difference to what we used to see. So
so I think that's the thing. But that's what I mean when I say I know like you feel like, oh well, it's been 3 years, but eventually, like now you guys are finished, like now you finished uni and you're living together and you're like still together and you're just going from strength to strength, and like you'll start doing more things, like you'll be going on holidays and you'll be like really just making memories together. Eventually they will see that and they'll be like, this is actually not ending anytime soon, and look how happy our daughter is. Like I know it doesn't seem like the end is in sight, and maybe I'm just being like really optimistic and a bit delusional, but I do think I just don't give up hope in it, is all I'm saying.
I don't know, you know what it is? I'm going to say this. If you want me to cut it out, then fine. But he said something to her the other day. I think he mentioned her cousin, who's got a husband. The husband's whisked her away to wherever they've gone. Some Australia, bought a house, bought a car and all this. And he's basically saying that as a woman, I wouldn't be able to do that for his daughter. Therefore, she shouldn't be with a woman, essentially.
Is he a bit older? You don't mind me asking.
I don't think he's not.
Okay.
He's not really.
I didn't know if that was just like a bit of a generational view. Definitely, it's definitely a cultural view, but I don't know if it was a bit of a generational view as well. I mean, that is just being stuck in your ways.
It is, but it's definitely a culture thing as well, because he also said to her, like, you don't want to go too far from your culture. Like, you don't want to be.
Because that's how he's been raised.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like where you can prove. Not to be like, you can prove him wrong, but like you can provide all of that stuff.
I can, and I don't want to take her away from her culture. If anything, I'm trying to be within the culture.
And like learn about it and stuff.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What I mean.
Like, when the Hajabore comes, it's like cheesy bread, guys.
Oh, okay.
I know that. I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Care to
like,
explain?
for the Georgian listeners, for the 3% that might be there. Yeah, like, I'm trying, like, she got a Georgian cookbook, and you know, I want to try and whip a few dishes. Like, it's not like I want to take her away. Like, I want to be involved. I want us to be in a place where, like, I can go to a house. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just picking her up, and then having to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely
it's a tough one. It's so hard. I literally, like, my heart does break for both of you, because I feel like you're so happy and like you've overcome so much in such a short space of time, and like you're just stronger than ever. So I think it's just a shame, but you don't let this cause issues, which I think is good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't let this put a wedge between you two, which I think is really important, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to be with someone if their parents didn't like them.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's your parents.
Yeah.
So like, it's like what do you do in that situation? But I mean, we're both forward thinking.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I said to my parent. Well, I haven't said it like outwardly, but like, I would say if it was an issue, like, at the end of the day, this is who I'm choosing to be with, like you said. And when it's like what they say, when your parents eventually, they're going to be gone, you'll have kids that'll be gone, like your partners forever. So I won't let that.
Inspirational.
Yeah, I won't let it disrupt the flow of things. And as I said, all my family now, they're okay with being gay. Love her. Like, I don't know what that's about. But like, even my nephews, like,
that's
I
what
come
I mean,
through
like,
the
she's
door.
so like integrated into your family now, which I love.
Jeez, I walk through the door, straight past me, not even a hello. Oh, fuck's sake. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, it's a difficult one, but hopefully we can maybe, I don't know, set some boundaries, something to evolve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
something
maybe like some conversations can be had eventually. Like, I know that you've both tried, but like maybe like give it another few months and then You can warm up to another conversation and be like, listen, I'd really like for you guys to be able to like just sit down and have one dinner and let's just see. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't have to like rush into anything. But I think over time, because I do think it is just like a them realising that you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to lose their daughter either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there is still a relationship there between her and them. And I think that's another thing that like is like a testament to you guys, is that you've managed to do that. Like, still like be strong, and like she still managed to have a relationship with her parents. Like, it must be fucking hard.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. I think with them and her, I think they are kind of putting a wedge between their relationship. Like, I know they weren't like particularly like super close. They're not like how you and your mom is. Do you know what I'm saying? But they're like, at the end of the day, still your parents, and I feel like because of their biases or because of their like communication style, like say she tries to communicate something to them, they'll start shouting, and then she starts. It's just an argument.
Yeah.
So like, it's just probably just hard for her because she doesn't know how to navigate or what to do. Like, what can you do?
That's the thing, and I'm sure she wants to share aspects of her life and talk about the exciting things that you guys are doing and whatnot. So it's just hard all around.
But you know, we keep it pushing. We keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So
we do. You're very positive through it all. Because to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, at the early doors of the relationship, when you first told me that this was a situation, my first thought was, well, this is never going to work.
Mine exactly.
Like, that was my first thought off the bat. Like, well, obviously this is just not going to work.
Yeah.
But now, look at you, proving all the haters wrong. I was a hater back in the day.
Mate, I was a hater. I thought the same thing. I thought there's no way. There's no way. Like, she's gonna probably want to go back home at some point. She's probably gonna want to be with her family and be able to do things, or have a partner that she could have, like, be with her family with. Like, I thought that, but obviously time has told differently.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes, like, you do just have to realise that, like, your happiness is more important than... Yeah. And also, the issue that you've got to think, one of the main issues here is the fact that you are a woman and she's not going to stop being gay. So whether you're black or white or whatever, there will still be an issue no matter who she's with, because it will always be a girl. Yeah. So that issue is never going to go away. So, like, do you know what I mean? She may as well stick with you. She already kicked up enough fuss at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Already caused enough drama. May as well see it through to the end now.
Yeah, for real. Well, we'll see. She may get a ring.
I can't wait to be maid of honour.
Yeah. Hope you're ready for that wedding.
Oh, my bank balance will never be ready for that wedding, that's for sure. Jesus Christ.
It's going to be top G's. But yeah, for any Georgian people watching, please give me some tips on how to win over the Georgian community. I'm super down to listen, so just drop me a message, drop me a DM in the Instagram.
Yeah, I think that was good. I think it's nice to, like, understand that your relationships with in-laws can be difficult.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously sometimes you can get lucky, and do you know what I mean? It can be a really easy journey, but, like, that is not often the case, because it wasn't the case with my ex. It's not the case with your current relationship. Like, I'm sure there's been previous relationships where it's not always been that easy. Like, it's just not easy, because you meet someone, you're like, I like you, but you actually don't know what's going on behind the scenes until you're already in too deep, and you're already, like, you go from liking them to loving them, and you're already, that's it, you're in there now. So, like, you do just kind of have to put up with what comes. But
yeah, at the end of the day, everyone just wants what's best for their person. Yeah. Everyone wants what's best for their kids. So
I think it would be interesting as well to hear your guys' views on this. Like, what do you think? Do you think that if your parents didn't like your partner, would you stay with them? If you were with someone and their parents didn't like you, and not like didn't like you, because like I said, they don't know you. They don't like you because of, like, cultural things more so. And, like, sexuality and stuff like that. So, like, if you were with someone and their parents had, like, serious cultural differences, like, do you think you could overcome that? Because I think it's really fucking tough, and I feel like you guys are doing really, really well to keep your relationship as strong as it is.
Don't get me wrong, we did struggle. Well, I struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was, like, the first time I'd been with someone and not, like, had a relationship with their family.
Yeah.
Like, everyone I've been with, I've been, like, welcomed in to the house, essentially. So it's been calm. So I didn't really know how to react. Like,
I've said, oh, okay.
Yeah. I said multiple times, like, what is it like? Do you want to scrap? Is it you want to have an argument? Like, what is it to get it off your chest to like be like, okay, that's done now. Let's keep it moving. But at the end of the day, I love my girlfriend,
and
it's
that's
not
all
gonna
that
change.
matters.
So it is what it is, man.
It is what it is. It really
is. So yeah, I mean, guys, tell us your views. As Prince said, drop us a DM, jump in the comments, let us know.
Yeah.
Let's build a community.
We want to interact with you guys.
Yeah, and we want you guys to interact with each other. So like, let's have a conversation in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this, because this is actually something that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm really, really interested to talk about this more.
Yeah.
And like other people's experiences, because I do think a lot can be taken away from it. Like someone could say something and you could be like, oh, do you know, I never thought about that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you like the episode, guys, drop us a like. I know you guys on YouTube, for some reason, it's like you don't like the thumbs up button.
It's like it's just too much effort.
It's too much
to
effort.
press. Just go tap.
Like, you're watching it, but you don't want to press the button. You don't want to tell us that you like us. How do we know that you like us? Huh? How do we know that? Yeah? So if you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment, tell us your views. Spotify, 5-star rating. Yeah? 5-star rating. Follow the page. Prin, where can they find us?
Always you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at branchingoutpodcast_. And if you want to send us an email, as per, the email address is branchingout2023@outlook.com.
So yeah, man, that's been the episode, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
I know you want me to.